Okay, so some miscellaneous stuff. Now they do mention cognitive behavior therapy, right, in the book. So at the beginning of this chapter, we mentioned in passing, before we started talking about the different types of psychotherapy, that a lot of therapists will use techniques from a variety of approaches in their counseling. And so that's called the book calls that the eclectic approach, right? The eclectic approach. But so many therapists so often use techniques from behavior therapy and cognitive therapy together that, yeah, there's a whole bunch of therapists nowadays that just call themselves cognitive behavior therapists. So they're using techniques from both those therapies, right, to help their clients. And then they do mention some group therapies, right? And there's some positive things about group therapy. Of course, group therapy, it can be, it's a sign of the times we live in. It can be cheaper, right? So it can save you money, right? Instead of you one-on-one paying for the whole session with the therapist, well, you got a group of people, right? Paying for the session, perhaps, if it's run by a professional a psychotherapist, right? Counselor. So it can be cheaper for each individual client, which is, obviously always nice to have it be more affordable. Also, though, group therapy, you're usually having therapy. Of course, one of the ideas behind this is, of course, is that you're in therapy with people who have similar problems to yourself, right? You're in this group therapy session with those others who have depression too, or others who have anger management issues too, whatever it might be. Right? So you are getting these social interactions, and so that's always good to get social interactions, practice social interactions if you're a little awkward there. But also you're actually, this helps you to better see that it's not just you, right? You're not the only person with these types of problems, right? There are people all around the world that have many similar problems to you, and that can just be insightful to people too, because we just get so caught up in ourselves, and of course all we know is ourselves, that we think, oh, no one understands us, no one goes through what I do. Well, no, people do go through what you do, right? So that's good. You get to see that. Also, you get to exchange and interact with these people, find out what they've tried, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. So you're getting advice from other people who have similar problems, who have what they've tried, what has worked, what hasn't. So all of that is really good stuff in group therapy as well. And of course, they mentioned family therapy, which is really encouraged. Because you think of a family as a whole interacting system. All right. So yeah, there are things people do in a family in their interactions that can, either help or hinder people in that family from getting better. So yeah, I mean, what do we do nowadays though? You got a teenage daughter who's depressed. Well, you go to the family doctor, you get her on some antidepressants. You don't talk about it as a family. Why would you do that, right? And maybe you get the daughter, of course this could be a son too, maybe you get the child in therapy, but why the hell should the rest of us go to therapy? Now, you should, right? You need to learn about that individual, learn about the way you interact with that individual that can help or hurt them. So family therapy obviously just recognizes that the whole family works as a system, and so it's important for everybody in the family to be aware of how they're interacting and how they're influencing others in the family. And of course, you got couples therapy as well. And then they even mention self-help groups. So there are a lot of self-help groups out there too, that these might not have, these might not cost anything, right? They might be free. They might not be run by a trained psychotherapist, but then there are others out there like Alcoholics Anonymous that are run not necessarily by a bona fide trained psychotherapist, or counselor, but they're run by somebody who has been trained thoroughly in the AA process, right? So self-help groups, once again, there you're going to interact with other people, hopefully with people who have similar problems to you, and you get a lot of the same benefits you might get from group therapy, but it doesn't cost you anything, right? Um, so yeah, there are a lot of benefits from going to therapy along with other people, right?